I just want to put that disclaimer out to you, Latrese. I am not a hater. You actually cracked me up. Hey, welcome back to my channel. So it's Melissa here coming at you with another video. It's Saturday and I just got back from doing a couple of outings, doing some sports stuff for the kids. And I saw that Latrese had a message for us. Really, it wasn't a message for us, but it was a message for her daughter. But I thought it was very important that we all hear the words that Latrese has said, not only for her daughter, but I think that, it's good for her sons to get those messages as well. So I'm gonna give Latrese her props when they are definitely due. Like I said in my previous video, if you don't know who Latrese is, go ahead and watch the video below, because that's a good video so that you'll be able to be, that's a good video so that you'll be up to speed, to who and what I'm talking about. So here we are. Latrese has been going live for the past couple of days, bam, bam, bam. And I actually was going to come on and do a video about something else that she spoke about. I'll do it after this one. But when I saw this message to her daughter, as a matter of fact, I might, you know what? I'll blend it in with this one because it kind of goes along with the same thing. It absolutely goes along with the same thing. So Latrese has a message to her daughter. And so the two things that I want to talk about is this message to her daughter, but I also want to talk about domestic violence and what that looks like, because I'm going to jump on that first. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit like and subscribe to my channel. I pretty much do weekly videos. My commitment is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But if there's something that's on and popping, I definitely come on, and breaking, I come on and do a video. So if you like this commentary, and I hear y'all about the music, I am not going to put music under this video. And so there you have it. So let's jump right into it. Before I get to the message to her daughter, because that would be a really good ending place on what I'm talking about. Again, if you don't know who Latrese is, watch the previous video. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I want it to be very, very clear that I am not here to bully her, bash her, or anything. I just think that she creates such good content to comment on, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. But ultimately, I'm not here as a hater, and she likes to call people demons and all this other stuff. I want absolutely nothing that she has, and I do not want to be like her in that regard. So I just want to put that disclaimer out to you, Latrese. I am not a hater. You actually cracked me up. I think your boys and your kids are absolutely the cutest. But ultimately, like I said, you create great content for those of us that comment on YouTube that we like to do. So anyway, a couple of days yesterday and previously on previous lives, Latrese is very adamant about fighting someone else for her man, and fighting her man and everything else. And there has been speculation, and there was speculation as to whether Coco had put his hands on her, because he did and allegedly has a history of violent acts against women. And so that was pretty concerning for a lot of people that were watching her, and absolutely in her corner, want the best for her, want her to have a man. Like I said in my previous video, no one wants Coco for several reasons, but at the same time, I know for myself, I have my own husband. But second of all, Coco is not appealing to me. He never was and never will be. So with that being said, I think a lot of the criticism or a lot of the advice that would be given to Latrese, she would, toss it and say, hey, either delete you, call you a demon, or you're a hater. People are always jealous. And it's not always about being jealous, which makes me want to talk about what she just went on live about. So there's going to be some Latrese videos, and I'm not clout chasing, but girl, you're running me some good numbers. So anyway, so in that conversation about, her fighting, I think I wanted to point out to Latrese and to women who are like Latrese, and usually young women who, without an understanding or the maturity, and sometimes you don't realize that you have this train of thought. But if you are being verbally abused, as she has admitted, meaning he has told her nobody want her, nobody will ever want her, she amount to nothing, all this stuff, that is domestic violence. That is abuse, Latrese. women out there, that is abusive. That is behavior that you should not accept from someone that says that they love you, from anyone. The other part about that is the children are witnessing someone call you out your name. That is abusive, not only to you, but it's also abusive to them. They are witnessing the chaos in that home. To us, the new thing nowadays is normalize this and normalize that. And I think, unfortunately, in a lot of homes, the name calling, the bashing, the screaming and yelling has been normalized to, well, that's just how we do. And that's not proven to be a healthy environment for children to completely thrive, to not have anxiety, to have a good night's rest and things like that. Even, sometimes children can develop anxiety and then they'll have eating issues, or they'll have digestive issues because they're so anxious. So I really wanted to come on and point out to Latrese and say, you know what, even though to you, you think that you and Coco are just going at it, or to you, viewer, if you are in a relationship and you're like, well, you know what, me and my partner, we're going at it and we go at it with each other, and he calls me a name and I call him a name, it absolutely is still considered domestic violence, and it is considered verbal abuse for sure, depending on how violent that it gets. And I think a lot of times we dismiss those behaviors because we feel like there's no physical scars. But we all know the old adage of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will not hurt me. Well, that's not true. We know that words can hurt. Like, I can think of things from when I was a very young child that someone may have said to me that has affected me, positive and negative. So, to dismiss the words for, in Latrese's case, the fussing and the cussing and the this. I mean, and for me, again, I can't tell Latrese how to run her home. I could just tell her, for me, I could function the way she runs her home. All the yelling at the kids, and sometimes the kids will just walk by her. But again, in Latrese's defense, I'm only getting a snippet. Like, she's turning on the camera. I don't know what happened before the camera went on. I can only judge by the fact that, hey, the kids were just upstairs. You called them downstairs to do XYZ. They're moving and doing it. But because you're on live and they may be interrupting you, you get explosive. So, I'm only judging a snippet of that. But verbal attacks are just as harmful to your emotional and sometimes physical state as physical abuse. Now, again, back to my original thought, people were speculating throughout the lives, throughout, watching Coco, that, has he put her hands on her? I was not sure. Still, I'm not sure, because obviously I'm not there. But she did say yesterday that she had a scratch and she was going to call the police. And honestly, he could have gone to jail over that scratch. But my concern is not the scratch. My concern is not Coco. My concern is not Latrese in that regard. My concern is, because again, like I said in my previous video, that is her life. And she'll tell you in a minute, mind your business, that's my life. And I get that. But I hope that she understands, again, that scratch, that is domestic violence. That is abuse. Like, you can't allow someone to put their hands on you in any way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, she even admitted, allegedly, that and you could see it. If you followed Latrese before Coco and after Coco, you can tell when Coco was around. You could tell when he was in the room. She was very guarded, always kind of, watching what she was saying, how she was almost, and I did not grow, I don't have an abusive husband, so I don't know, oh, I have to tiptoe over my words. But from what I understand, that is what abusers, people that are abused, they describe it as. Like, I never know what's going to be his ticking time bomb. And those are the words that Latrese would use. And I think that she may or may not recognize that their behavior together was not only toxic, as my other video, make sure you watch that video, but also make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave a comment, because I love you guys' comment and I try to comment on everything. So I'm done with that plug. But it's also detrimental to her, because what I wanted to say was, I think, judging by Latrese's tone, judging by how she's empowered by the fact that she can say, I fight back, or me and him will go at it, or I'll beat this person up, I'll beat that person up. I can be completely honest with you guys and just say, when I'm watching this and I'm watching her, the biggest thing in my head is, who are these people and who are they hanging around? Like, in my little soccer mom life, I don't know who the heck I'm going to be fighting. Like, I'm busy doing errands, cooking, blah, blah, blah. Like, school, football, track, cross country, going to the gym. That's the first thought. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. I'm thinking, and I realize I got Treese by a good 10, 11, 12 years. Like, I'm in my late 40s, she's in her late 30s. So I get it that there's an age gap, but at the same time, even when I was her age, I just didn't have time for that. And even about the video that I'm going to do next, even more drama. And so it's like, can we even classify the chaos that's going on as abusive? One would argue. Now, am I saying her children should be taken away and all that? Absolutely not. And do not come for me for that, because I am not saying that at all. But when it comes down to the physical stuff, yeah, absolutely. If those kids are witnessing child abuse, or physical abuse for her, no, that's not a healthy environment for them. And some would argue that the environment with the chaos and her always wanting to fight at the drop of a dime and all this other stuff. But again, my initial thought with all of that is, I had to reevaluate my life. Like, what the world do I have going on? I'm telling you, y'all would think, oh my goodness, she's got like a little boring life or something. Because I'm not like, that's the later conversation about the video today. I'm not gonna go there. But I'm not jumping on anybody because so and so want my man and this and that and the other and all the stuff that she goes through. But the other part is, what are you guys arguing about to the point where he's scratching you and all of this, and then you're accepting him back? Latrese, honey, that is abuse. That is abuse. Even if you fight back, and that's my point of the video. I think that a lot of people feel like, hey, I fought back. So that's not really, I'm not weak. I'm not like those women who get beat on and don't fight back. So I can accept him back because I I fought back. I can slap back. I can shoot back or whatever. And I guess for me, I'm like, first of all, I don't want that type of violence. I have too much to lose, too much to lose. And I guess that's the difference. I can't push my lifestyle and my life standards on her, but I'm just trying to tell her there's a more excellent way. There's a better way to handle conflict. There's a better way to handle situations with your man than to get physical or anything. And so, while you are really rallying behind the fact that you can fight him and all this other stuff, at the end of the day, that's still an abusive relationship. Like, if you would have called the cops and showed them that scratch on your neck, and for those of you who are watching, like, if he pushes you and you push him back and all that, that's why my husband knows and my kids know I don't play wrestle or anything, because I get too serious. Because if you hit me one good time, I'm done. So I don't find that fun. That's not my type of fun. So I'm not doing it. And so I just wanted to come on and just express, to really evaluate, number one, what type of life you want. Because on one hand, a lot of the chaos and everything, absolutely, like I said in the previous video, my hat's off and all props to Latrese, because she has really turned her life around as far as her career. She has, the online boutique and different things like that. So I know she wants better. She absolutely wants better for her children. She makes sure they get if they don't do nothing else, they're going to eat and they're going to go to school. Latrese makes sure that those things are happening. Like, so it's not that type of dysfunction or chaos. But at the same time, I want to encourage you to really evaluate what type of relationship and just relationships in general that you have around you that's causing you want to jump off and fight and everything else. Because what are you teaching your children? What type of problem solving are you teaching your children? But not only that, are you helping them to realize that whether it's a derogatory word or the way someone's talking to you, calling you out your name, that telling you amount to nothing, that's abuse. And then to add on to that, if someone hits you, even though you hit them back and you defend yourself, that doesn't make you better than someone who's being abused and doesn't fight back or anything like that. Or because you have more money than your abuser, then you are more powerful. It still is a dysfunctional, abusive domestic violence type situation that I feel like is is overlooked when you're listening to her lives, because it's very much funny the way she describes it and the way she's going off on Coco and stuff like that. And also I've heard women describe it like, you know what, I hit him and I did this and that and the other, but at the same time, and I got my gun and all that, y'all, that's still domestic violence. That's still, you know, can classify as a domestic. And now when you're, and I mean, and to get to my other point, you can see her, she'll say, oh, I got, I got this cut from Tay and I got this from here. Like, you please don't normalize this type of behavior. Like, the same person that has put this scar, that scar, this scar, you were on the phone with, or saying that you allegedly were on the phone with, so that he can come back into your life. And you even said it, the relationship with Tay was worse than when it was Coco, but yet this is someone that you were on the phone with, like, come on, drop me some good stuff, and then you leave, and this and that and the other. And it's like, I watch it and I'm like, what is she doing? Like, what are you doing? um And again, I don't know all your friends that are around you, and I'm not your friend. Obviously, you don't know me, but at the same time, I'm very intrigued by you, and I want you to win. And not only do I want you to win, you've stayed out of trouble for so long. This situation with Coco and all these people, like, the anger and the rage and everything is like really, really building out. And I want you to see that, number one, those things that are done to you, that's still abuse. It's still domestic violence. He could have gone to jail for half the stuff that you were describing. So could Tay. So why are we accepting this behavior? If you're watching this video and you're like, you know what, she's right. When my boyfriend gets snappy with me and calls me a B and nobody wants me and everything else, I need to understand and recognize that that is abuse. You know what? Melissa's right. When we are play wrestling and he gets rough and he pins me down and doesn't let me up, or and keeps me down there or whatever, that is abuse. That is violence against you. That is unwanted aggression towards you. That's what it terms. And you need to run, and run fast, because just as we've seen with the example that we're using, allegedly, just if you watch her lives from when Coco first came back, everything is escalating. And she even now is very free in saying it. And I appreciate her candor, but she is very free in saying it. Coco is known to hit women and all this other stuff. And I'm like, and this is somebody that you have not only been grooming to build up like he's a Build-A-Bear man, but this is somebody that you really are crying over and really want in your life. Ladies, we have to do better. We have to make sure that we understand our worth. You need to recognize the red flags. And I'm not going to beat you while you're down, Trees, because at the end of the day, you're kind of recognizing and seeing, because just like how you posted this message, which I'm going to read now, you understand that it's not okay. And so for people that are watching your lives and everything, I hope you understand that just because you're fighting with the person and they're just not being abusive towards you, it's still abuse, and you need to run, and run fast. It's not going to get better. And, I was thinking about what I was going to say in this video. And on this part, one thing that I wanted to say, I'm not saying that no one can change. I'm not saying that abusers, once an abuser, always an abuser. However, I believe, in my opinion, it is my opinion that in a case of someone like Coco, who has not demonstrated the ability to be mature, to be a provider, to have discipline, to have anger management and all of that, he should have not had access to her personal life and her children. And that's on period. I'm not going to say anything else about that. The next part is I'm going to read the message that she had to her daughter, which I thought it was absolutely not only touching, but it shows us a softer side of Treese. Because like I said in my previous video, make sure you watch it. I described her. And so when you read the words to her daughter, it kind of touched me, because I'm like, okay, there is a soft side to her. So what does she say? What does she say to her daughter? And so now I'm reading this, Latrice's words to her daughter, Rennie, but also I'm reading this to you if you are in a relationship, and by this video, you're recognizing and you're really thinking like, hey, when my mate does blah, 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 that makes me uncomfortable. And that very well could be, whether it's extreme or not, that's a different conversation. But if there's aggression towards you that you have to defend yourself in one way, shape, or form, Even if it's verbal, you're defending yourself in your mind against the verbal attacks, baby, that is abuse, and that is domestic violence, period. So what did she say? She said, and I'm reading from my laptop, she says, I pray my daughter is stronger than me. I pray she doesn't accept the things I've accepted. I pray she knows when to fight for someone, and when to walk away. I pray she never feels abandoned, unloved, unappreciated. I pray she knows her worth. I pray she knows how special she is, even if I'm the only one assuring her. I pray she knows no matter what, she always has me, rather it's physically or spiritually. My precious baby girl, I pray she's so much better than me. That touched me so much. I love those words, Latrice, and I pray those words for her. Latrice, I pray that you're stronger. I pray that you don't accept the things that you have accepted up until this point. When you get to know her, she's hilarious. She's got her things that she recognizes with her house and the way she carries herself and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, she is a big teddy bear. And not only she's a big teddy bear, she's a very generous person. And so I think that, her wanting to be loved and want to love so desperately kind of causes her to be in these situations. And ultimately, I also think that, going back to the beginning of this conversation, I think that a lot of times, until someone points it out, like, hey, Treese, that's abuse. That's domestic violence. She made this thing, I'm a fighter, and that's fighting, and that's just what we do. And if we look at love, that's not love. Love doesn't fight. That's not the type of fight. You fight through life. You fight other people against you while you guys are building each other up. So I hope these words find you well, and I hope that this video really causes you to really dig deep. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if this resonates with you. If you get what I'm saying, as far as, if you know someone, or you are a person where you're like, you know what, I had to tell myself, just because I'm fighting back, that doesn't mean that he's not abusing me or I'm not abusing him, because it can also go the other way. So with that being said, make sure to hit the like button, hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm ready and I've dropped the video. And most importantly, hit the subscribe button to get more videos. With that being said, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.